These Marines at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, are practicing combat lifesaver skills. 10 years of war has taught the military that lives can be saved if every Marine and soldier can use a tourniquet to stop bleeding and knows how to clear the mouth and throat.
There you go. Pull in, and if you start to choke, you pull it out a little bit. What? You be breathing.
All right, what can you be doing right now? They're all stable, right? You got all the bleeding control. You can start checking their airways. I haven't seen that done yet.
Navy Corpsman James Stoddard, who's 20 years old, has seen the real thing happen plenty of times. His first combat casualty happened when his good buddy, Lance Corporal Tyler Southern, who I wrote about in the first part of this series, stepped on an IED in May 2010 in Afghanistan.
That was my first ever combat experience, and it was a triple amputee, which is one of the hardest casualties in country to save, just because there's so much blood loss. Really, I think the thing that saved him was how fast I got my tourniquets on.
With you!
Pop, left leg! Bang!
This training is tough, and Stoddard is a demanding instructor. He knows when a buddy is hurt and bleeding out, you gotta get it right the first time.
You still didn't do it right. You see that? I'm trying to show you something here. There you go, that's where you messed up on the first one. A lot of the times where people go wrong is they think that they have to get the tourniquet on so fast that they're not thinking about how the actual tourniquet is placed. So they fumble up a lot, they freeze, they stumble.
Hey, CCP, over here!
Timing is crucial and the stress is intense. These Marines are going to need these skills when they get to Afghanistan.
If they're still conscious and they can still move a leg, they're gonna help you. It's like, hey, you gotta help me, all right? I gotta move you.
Most deaths from blast are caused by bleeding out, which can happen in 2 minutes. Marines and soldiers are trained to apply tourniquets and stop the bleeding in 30 seconds or less. And they carry H-bandage pressure dressings for less serious gunshot wounds and cuts.
Try and get under the bird.
They are also taught how to put the wounded on the medevac helicopter and what not to tell them as they're treating them in the field.
We never practice telling them that they're going to be okay, because that just sets it up for failure. You might get onto the bird and then he dies, and then you just pretty much told everybody in that platoon that he's going to be okay, and then they're all coming after you because he's not.
Treatment rendered, tourniquet on right leg, pushing fluids. How copy, over?
After the wounded are helicoptered out, it's the corpsman's responsibility to search the area for missing limbs and clean up bloody bandages. Stoddard knows about this firsthand from his first combat casualty, Tyler Southern.
In Southern's case, I was forced to pick up a limb, and I was also at the same time forced to tell one of my Marines to pick up another limb. It was one of the worst scenarios I've been in.
After that, Stoddard didn't see his buddy again until his tour ended months later.
When I first got back, he was actually waiting for us when we got off the bus. He was sitting right there in his wheelchair, and I hugged him. It was just a really emotional time.
Combat medics and corpsmen like Stoddard are solid gold. When you're out on patrol, it's comforting to know they're right behind you, but they can't be everywhere. And that's why the military has trained every combat troop to save a life, his own or his buddy. Embedded correspondents are expected to know the drill as well. I always carry at least 2 tourniquets close at hand.
There will be situations when you're in country where the corpsman might be down and you step up as a senior medical provider, as a Marine, as a PFC. I've seen it done. All right, you guys have to be ready for this.